So in this section, we'll be discussing division and grouping the results of what we've been doing before, form language. So when searching patterns, they can be divided into several groups, which can be used to approach individual results. That division can be done by putting the subform from the form that we want to treat as a special group. And in the closed parentheses, we do the following. So basically, let's make a regex object. So regex equals re.compile. And this time we're going to have, so now we'll be using the parentheses. Inside that, we're going to have x, y, plus, and then, actually outside the xy plus, and then we're going to close the parentheses, and then we're going to say y. So we compile this, and then we're going to have this what we just filled to be searched for inside the following string. So search, and then we're going to have x. It has to be a string. xy, 3 x's, y, 3 x's again, y, xy, xy. Okay, so let's just compile that. Okay, that works. So we can have all found sequences with the group method, which is over the object SRE match. So when we print the following method, we have match. So for this match, we find all the groups of our criteria. So 0 plus is 0 or 1, y afterwards, or 0 or 1, yeah, so 0 or 1 character that we're looking for afterwards. So let's print out groups. And we print out the groups that we have from the match, which is just y, and the whole text, the whole thing before x, this whole thing right here. All right, so we approach to individual groups via the index method group, like we just saw. So when index goes from 1, the method group with the parameter 0 as a result gives text, which is found to provide a sample. So let's use indexes now. So when we use 0, we get the same result, and we use 1. Oh, it's just group. My bad, not groups. Group. So with groups finds all of them. Group 0 finds which group we have, which is that. Group 1, which is that, and group 2, which is y. In addition to the previous mode, it is possible to overtake each group by mentioning the name of the group. We can mention the name of the group on the start of the group. Wait, what? Hold on. Sorry, I'm confusing myself here. So let me just do an example. So not sound like I'm reading a book. So we're gonna have a new object this time. Actually, we're gonna have the same object as before, but this time we're going to use the following syntax. So we're going to mention the following special characters. So we're gonna have x, then after the opening parentheses, question mark p, and then we're going to have first inside the less than and greater than symbols. So what this does, we put the name of the parameter, name of the group, manually like this. And then we do the same thing for y. So inside the parentheses, question mark p, second. So now when we call, you'll see now, so we're gonna have match again equals regex dot search. So in that, let me just rewrite this: x, y, x, 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 y, x, 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 y, x, y, x, 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 y, x, y, x, y. All right, so from this, when we print groups now, match groups actually, match, calling the method groups, and sorry about that. There we go. So it prints out the groups again, right? So from this, we can actually call the groups by name now. So when we print instead of the index, so when we have group match dot group, and then we use the name first, we'll get the first group. And then when we get second, we get the second group, which is Y. So that first one was the first group, and this Y is the second group. All right, so we should also mention that the function that returns the dictionary of founded groups whose key is parameter name and the value found sequence for the group. So we also have another function called groupdict. So let's erase this. So we have our previous example. So instead of groups, we're going to say group dict. As you can see, it autofills, so that's good. Checks out. All right, so it showed us we defined it first as this one and second as this one, Y. So that's that. So now we can approach with this. We can approach every group via the key. So now we'll introduce another useful thing for patterns. It is possible of choice within the forms. So it's possible to have a choice within the forms. And to define that, we use the sign. We use the following sign. So let's write that up. I'll show you the sign. It's that line we have. So like that divider. So let's define that as follows. So erase all this. So we're going to have regex compile now. And then we're going to use Y. We're going to type open up parentheses. And then we're going to have X, that divider, Y. And then close first parentheses. Then we're going to say plus, and then we're going to close another parentheses. Is that right? Yes. And then, so what this does, the character Y followed by one or more X or Y characters, effectively the same thing we're able to achieve is with the group symbols, but we see that this is a more intuitive way of understanding. So when we do match now, we do the following. So regex, not reference error, so regex, so regex.search, and then we have a new string. So we're going to say y, 2 x's, 2 y's, x, y, x, y. There we go. And then we're going to print, and as before, we're going to have similar groupings. So match group group 1, and there's our first group, and then the second group Y. There we go. So, and with that, we pretty much conclude the section.